Alright, how's everyone doing? I thought I would review Royal Rumble since I just watched it last night, and I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was the best Royal Rumble in probably the last 5 years. Like, one of the best Rumbles I've seen in a long time. I had a great time watching it with my friends and stuff, and I thought I'd just go through the card and break down every match, or just give my opinions on every match and give like a little review of this show because it was a decent show. I mean, if you're into wrestling, like I hope you watched the Rumble because it was a solid show. I missed all the kickoff matches though, so we're gonna skip those. The Luke Gallo, Carl Anderson versus Revival, missed that. Kalisto, Grand Malik versus Gallagher and Gulag, missed that. United States Championship, missed that. But I think Bobby Roode went against Mojo Riley, so easy defense right there. It wasn't even a serious, championship. But the show started, and when I actually started watching was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The Usos versus Chad Gable and Shelton fucking Benjamin. 2 out of 3 falls match. I fucking love Shelton Benjamin, man. It's been so long since this guy's, been working in WWE. He just came back like this year, or last year technically. And he's a perfect fit with Chad Gable. Like, it's just perfect. And they were the heels. Like, it was strange because the Usos are like doing like a gangster gimmick, like a rapper gangster gimmick, type thing. But they were getting their asses kicked for a majority of the match by Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. And Shelton Benjamin and Chad, they were looking like the heels because they took out one of the Usos, like, on the outside, like, just slammed him on the outside. It looked violent. It was awesome. And it looks like they're about to win. They go to do their finish on the other Uso. They just did the one finish on the last Uso on the outside, and they're going to do it on the next one. And then Shelton Benjamin gets rolled up. Chad Gable jumps off the top rope trying to break up the pin. He's too late. 1, 2, 3, match is over. That's the second fall, and that's all they needed. The Usos got the first fall earlier in a very easy, cheap way, and then they got the roll-up for the second fall. So the match kind of ended pretty abruptly, and I was a little surprised by that. I thought Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin were going to come back, but no, they just got pinned twice in a row, and the Usos beat them straight up. They didn't have to cheat or anything. They just beat them right in the middle of the ring. So that was an interesting match. I like where the Usos are going. I like their look. I like their attitude in the ring. I think that they're a good tag team right now. But in Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, they're going to be another solid tag team for this year. Like, I don't see them breaking them up this year. Maybe next year. But they need more tag teams. And these 2 tag teams are solid, so got to keep them. But then something crazy happened. And this is the first Royal Rumble where I've seen this happen. And that's the men's Royal Rumble. 30-man Royal Rumble. The match that usually ends every Rumble, it usually ends every Royal Rumble, is the very next match. It's right after the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. You got the men's Royal Rumble. And I was a little like shocked by that. I was like, what? We're having the Rumble right now? They're going to end with the women's Rumble? I was like, what the fuck? This is some crazy, unprecedented shit. And I was shocked as hell that they were going to end with the women's Rumble. But then again, it makes sense. It's the first Women's Rumble. They want to put a spotlight on it. It's going to go on last. Next year, it's not going to go on last. They're going to switch the spots again. But for this year, to put a spotlight on the Women's Rumble, they put it on last. And the Men's Rumble was right at the beginning of the show, essentially. And it was a solid Rumble. It was awesome. I mean, there was a few questionable entries. Like Titus O'Neil coming in at number like 26 or 27 or something like that. Like, what the fuck was that about? I would have had someone take his spot. Because earlier in the Rumble, at the number 10, Perfect 10's music starts, right? Everyone thinks it's going to be Ty Dillinger coming out. And then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beat him up in the back. And I was like, yeah, kick his ass. Because one of my friends is a big Ty Dillinger fan. Because we were watching him at NXT. We went to a few live shows, so we've seen Ty Dillinger live, but he's all aboard on Ty Dillinger. And I'm just like, it's a fucking gimmick, dude. Get over it. He has one gimmick. It's not exactly like a real thought out character here. his character is a number. Like, how is that, like, interesting? And so when his music hit, my friend went, yeah, Ty Dillinger! He starts losing his shit. And then we notice Ty Dillinger's not coming out, and then he goes to the camera in the back, and he's getting his ass kicked. And then me and everybody else was laughing and cheering. And then my friend's like, I hate you guys. It's so funny. But yeah, Sami Zayn takes his place. I was wondering why Kevin Owens didn't come in the Rumble at all, but in the pre-show had a WWE Championship. AJ Styles and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn handicap match. Owens and Sami Zayn versus Styles. It was on the pre-show, which is crazy. They had a championship match before the show started, and I didn't get a chance to see it, but I know AJ Styles won because of how the Rumble ended and stuff. And you know that always like is bothering to me. Like, that always bothers me a little. Like, how do you lose if you have two guys versus one guy? Like, how does Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn lose the match? You know, sometimes you just gotta let logic play out. You know, the numbers game will help you win. You know, you have more people, you're gonna win, right? But they're making AJ Styles look strong as hell, and they're gonna keep making him look strong until Mania, because he's going to be facing the winner of the Men's Royal Rumble, which I'm going to get to in a second here. I just want to keep talking about the Rumble a little bit. A lot of good entries. Apollo Crews got no pop. I remember when he came out, he got no pop. I was really disappointed by that. I love Yuha Nation. I was so disappointed when they booked him the way they did, last year. And I was feeling like this year could be his jump start. Like, he can get back on track, because he's a great wrestler. I've seen him live in small shows, like small-ass venues of, like, 50 people, 100 people, and he's amazing, His name used to be Yuha Nation. Go look him up, Apollo Crews, Yuha Nation. He was amazing. And, yeah, he's got, like, little to no personality, but I think that's going to change when he goes heel. He's going to really come out of his shell. They just got to do something different with him. Baron Corbin came in the match at one point and got eliminated within seconds. It got eliminated really quickly. It was hysterical because I didn't want Baron Corbin in there anyway. I really don't like his entrance. I don't like his music. I don't like his look. I don't think he has much of a personality. He's very bland. And I was glad he was out of there quickly. Finn Balor and Rusev started the match. And my God, Rusev is so fucking over. The whole crowd was going, Rusev Day, Rusev Day. It was great. I love Rusev. I remember watching him when he first came in NXT. And he was over there. Like this guy has something about him, and people like to like him. And he's got a lot of momentum right now. I'll be shocked if they don't do something with him this Mania. Because, you got so much fan support behind this guy. Like, you gotta do something. Like, Rusev is a great act. He needs to be at Mania. Him and Aiden English need to be there. They're great. But at one point in the match, the ring clears, and then Elias Sampson comes into the ring, and he used to be called the Drifter, and he plays the guitar, and he's kind of a heel. He tells everyone to shut up so he can play his guitar, but everybody, thinks it's hysterical, and they go along with it. And he starts playing his song, and he gets cut off by the countdown of the next person coming in. And by the way, what was with the countdown? It felt like it was off by like 2 seconds. Like, the countdown would go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then like 2 seconds later, you would hear the buzzer. Like, it was weird. Weird countdown, but that's beside the point. So Elias Sampson, he actually stood in the ring. I want to say for like 10, 15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes. He was in there for a while. He was doing some work, which was nice to see. Heath Slater came out at one point, and he kept getting like punched and knocked out before he even got to the ring, which was like a little comedy bit. It was hysterical. And then eventually Sheamus comes out, and he throws Heath Slater into the ring to get Slater into the match. And then Sheamus gets to the ring, and he gets eliminated in like literally like 2 seconds by Heath Slater. The second Sheamus got in the ring, Heath Slater knocks him out. And the crowd pops, and Heath Slater gets a huge pop. It's great. Sheamus looks shocked and stuff, but this made sense because Sheamus had a match right after the Rumble, so he couldn't stay in the Rumble long, which was crazy that they did the Rumble this early in the show because a lot of these guys had matches to go on to. Like Seth Rollins, he was in the Rumble for a while, and he had to do a match right after the Rumble. So, it's interesting how they booked this show. It's not how I would have booked it. I would I would have did things a little bit differently, but yeah. So the crowd is popping. The Miz comes out, and John Cena is in the ring. So every time the Miz is hitting John Cena, he's getting a huge pop because everybody hates John Cena in Philadelphia. That's where the show's at. And Miz is fucking just kicking him. He's getting huge pops. So Miz had his moment. It was great. Matt Hardy comes out in his broken gimmick. He has a few moments, and then he gets eliminated rather quickly. The whole New Day, all three members of the New Day, got in the match around, and they're all in the match around the same time. And this was like, I don't know if it was on purpose, but they made Jinder Mahal just totally beat the shit out of the New Day like they're nothing, so Jinder Mahal is looking just like taking them to town, which I thought was funny. You would think a team of 3 people could take out one guy, but no. I guess they still want to make Jinder Mahal look really strong or something. I don't know. I don't know why they still want to push Jinder Mahal. I think it's kind of done, no one really wants to get behind him that much, which sucks because he used to be in the Indies. I mean, he used to be like a comedy act. Like, he was a lot, flabbier. Like, he totally took steroids. There's no way to get around that. Like, he totally was juicing. That's how he got that big, because he used to be a lot smaller. So, Jinder Mahal looks strong. He eliminates most of the New Day. Then he gets eliminated. And we're starting to get towards the end of the Rumble. Randy Orton's in there already. John Cena's in there already. It's getting a little, it's, for me, I'm starting to get a little nervous because we're yet to see Roman Reigns. I'm like, oh my God, are they going to do Roman Reigns at number 30? I'm going to be so fucking pissed if they do that. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to literally lose my mind if they do Roman Reigns at number 30. So we get to like 27 or 26 and it's fucking Titus O'Neil, and I was just like, what? Like, why is he in the Rumble at all? And then Roman is number like 28. And that was like a big sigh of relief for me and all my friends. We're like, oh, thank God he's not number 30. We hear that doo-doo. We're like, thank God he's not 30. He's fucking 28. He's like real close to 30. It wasn't 30. So we were very relieved to see that. Shinsuke Nakamura, by the way, is already in the match. He's already in the match at this point. I forgot to mention that, but he's been in the match a while. I think he was in the match for over 20 minutes. And Finn Balor is also in the match, and he's been in there since the beginning. He was the second guy to enter the Rumble, and he's still in there. And we're nearing the end of the Rumble. The last number 30 is about to come out, and he's still in there. And I was kind of pulling for Finn Balor. I'm like, all right, he's the Iron Man. He's been in this match the whole fucking time. He should win it. I was kind of pulling for him. And then number 30, Dolph Ziggler comes out. We're all kind of like, all right, at least they didn't do some fucking bullshit, right? They didn't do some crazy-ass, ridiculous shit. At least it's just, all right, I could deal with Dolph Ziggler, okay? I cannot deal with Roman Reigns, I mean, there was a couple of good surprises in the Rumble. The Hurricane, Gregory Helms, came out. I was so happy to see him. I love Gregory Helms. And especially his Hurricane gimmick. I think it's just great. A superhero works perfectly right now. Like, we need more superheroes. And he has a Green Lantern tattoo on his shoulder, so, I love Gregory Helms. And he got a pop when he came out. It was nice. So, there was a couple good surprises. The whole match was good. The crowd was popping the whole time. No one ever, was out of it. There was a couple times where people did the Cena sucks chant. But, that's just going to happen with Philadelphia and Cena's in there. That's just going to happen. But we get to the Final Four, and it's Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Roman fucking Reigns, and John Cena. Like literally, you have a 50-50 chance of this coming out good, right? Me and my friends were like, God, it's going to be either a really good ending or a really shitty ending. If John Cena or Roman wins, this is going to be the worst Rumble. But if Finn Balor wins, it's going to be great. If Shinsuke wins, it's going to be amazing. And Finn Balor gets eliminated, so now it's just Shinsuke, John Cena, Roman. And then Shinsuke eliminates both of them, knees them in the head several times, gets them out, and Shinsuke wins. Shinsuke is your winner of the 2018 Royal Rumble. I was so happy. I've been watching Shinsuke Nakamura for over a decade. Like, it feels like over a decade. I've been watching New Japan Wrestling since 2010. So, yeah, almost 8 years, a decade. We're almost getting close to a decade now. And I remember watching him in New Japan, and he didn't even have his gimmick yet. He still had the short hair. He still had, lawn spandex, wrestling pants, He didn't look like Shinsuke Nakamura. And when he got his gimmick, when he became, like, the King of Strong style, and he fucking fought AJ Styles at Wrestle Kingdom, it was one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. I think it was Wrestle Kingdom 8, but it was one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life. And when he won the Rumble, and we all know that AJ Styles won in the pre-show, we all said we're going to WrestleMania. Like, at the second Shinsuke won the Rumble, we all said in, like, one harmonious voice, we're going to WrestleMania. And I live in Florida, so WrestleMania is only like a 10-hour drive from me. So, what? A 10-hour drive? Less than? Probably like an 8-hour drive. And, yeah, man, we're going to go. We're going to go because AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura should tear down the house. That should be the best WrestleMania match in history. If we're going off of what they've already done. If they could just duplicate what they did at Wrestle Kingdom, this is going to be the greatest match in history. And when when the match ended and they asked Shinsuke who he wanted to face at WrestleMania, and he says, AJ Styles, I lost my mind a little bit. I was like, oh my god, it's happening. We're going to get Shinsuke versus AJ Styles. It's been rumored for like the last year that this was going to be the Mania, is Styles versus Shinsuke, and it turned out to be true. I mean, we're going to get it. I'm so happy. So happy this is happening. Like, you have no idea. This is unbelievable. But, so that's the main event of the show, and it happened at the beginning of the show. So we still got a whole other, 2.5 hours of wrestling to do. And the crowd at this point is completely drained. Like, that Rumble drained them. They are just, out of it for, the next couple matches. And they kind of wake back up for the Women's Royal Rumble, but, dude, they were out of it for the match right after the Rumble. Because that was a great Rumble. Having Shinsuke win like that was fucking fantastic. That should have went on last. That was amazing. But Shinsuke won. Greatest thing that could ever happen. So then the next match after that is the Raw Tag Team Championship with Seth Rollins, Jason Jordan versus The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. I'm always rooting for The Bar. I love Sheamus. I love Cesaro. I think they're a great tag team. I think they mesh well together. I think they're believable as a good tag team, as a cohesive unit, And Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan, they don't match at all. It doesn't make sense why they're tagging together. And Seth Rollins, after going 20 plus minutes in the Rumble, he has to come out and do this tag team match. And Jason Jordan, who wasn't in the Rumble at all, comes out and he gets booed, man. Everybody hates Jason Jordan. I don't know what it is about his face or just the way he acts or everybody just wants to hate this guy. And I get it. I don't like him much either, but I don't understand the hatred, but I see that WWE is kind of playing with it because they have Jason Jordan come out second by himself so we can hear the boos just for Jason Jordan. So I think WWE knows what they're doing right now. They're making Jason Jordan a heel. I think it's just going to happen because you might as well. He's getting booed out the building. You might as well make him a heel. So the match starts. Seth Rollins starts the fucking match. He's already tired from the Rumble, so this is already crazy. They're the champions, too. Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. They're the champs going into the match. And then Sheamus and Cesaro beat up on Seth Rollins for another 15, 20 minutes, just beating up on him. And they hit Jason Jordan in the head. They throw Jason Jordan into the steel post, and it knocks out Jason Jordan. And Jason Jordan is selling his head injury the whole match. So it was a very strange match. Seth Rollins is getting his ass kicked for the majority of the match. And he's looking for a tag, but Jason Jordan is just out. He's just out on the side. He's not doing anything. And then eventually Jason Jordan gets to the corner and Seth Rollins makes the tag, and Jason Jordan is still like selling that he is hurt, like he can't walk straight and stuff. So he tags Seth Rollins back, and he goes and sits down, and Seth Rollins is like, "What the fuck, man?" And then Cesaro and Sheamus take out Seth Rollins, and they pin Seth Rollins and become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. And I think this is the end of the Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan tag team. This is the end of it. I feel like Jason Jordan's going to go heel. He's going to feel like he was justified because he was hurt. You know, like how could he perform in the match when he has a possible concussion, you know? He's going to be self-righteous about that, and he's going to go heel, but he's going to think he's in the right. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're setting up something between them. I hope Seth Rollins gets something better than Jason Jordan. I hope they can finish this feud by Elimination Chamber so that when WrestleMania comes around, Seth Rollins is free for WrestleMania to face whoever. But, you know, that was the Raw Tag Team Championship. It was essentially a bathroom break or a breather, you know, like, because the Rumble exhausted everybody in the crowd. It just exhausted everybody. So you needed, like, a buffer match before the championship. And that's essentially what that was. And then the Universal Championship match. Triple threat, Brock Lesnar, the champion, versus Braun Strowman and Kane. So Braun Strowman versus Kane versus Brock Lesnar in the Universal Championship match. And, I mean, the crowd started to wake up again and they were in it, but this was just like a fucking tanks. This was like tanks hitting each other. These were big fucks just slamming each other. And they were just, I don't know, like if they had like a 3-way match with 3 Andre the Giants, it's like this is what it would look like. Like, it wasn't a very technically sound match, but we got a lot of table spots. A lot of tables broke. Every announced table, I think, broke during the match, and they brought out 2 tables from underneath the ring, and they broke those. Kane, like, pushed Braun Strowman. It was a really weak push. And then Braun Strowman kind of fell into a table. It looked bad. I feel bad for Kane. Everybody just wants to hate Kane, but I love Kane. I've always loved him. I think he's hysterical. I think he's he's a good person. You know, he's a good person. Every wrestler always refers to Kane as the safest wrestler to work with. So, I mean, that's high praise. That's like the highest praise you could possibly get in the wrestling industry. Is that you are the safest person to work with. Like, that's pretty awesome. So, you know, Kane's doing his best, but we all know Kane is not winning, you know. So Brock Lesnar is beating up Kane, and Braun Strowman is beating up Brock Lesnar. Like, it looked like Braun Strowman's going to win this, because the crowd is behind Braun Strowman. Brock Lesnar can't really do anything against Braun Strowman that's very effective. And so what does Brock Lesnar do? He does an F5 on Kane and pins Kane. That's what he does. He pins Kane. Brock Lesnar becomes the new Universal Champion. And Braun Strowman is standing in the middle of the ring screaming at Brock that, "You didn't pin me! You didn't pin me!" So we're probably going to get another championship match between Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar at Elimination Chamber. I assume it's going to be Elimination Chamber. That way, Brock can beat Braun, and we can have Roman versus Brock Lesnar. Because WWE, for some reason, just wants to do Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania every year for some reason. I don't know why. They always want to do it. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. I thought Brock Lesnar should have lost right now to Braun Strowman, and maybe won it back in Elimination Chamber, you know, because Braun Strowman, he looks strong. Like, the crowd's behind him, why not go with him a little bit? Why not have this guy get a championship win right now? Like, I don't understand, like what's the dilemma right now? Like, why can't this guy be holding the belt? Everybody seems to like him. He's getting huge pops. He's a brick shit house. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can manhandle anybody. Why not put the belt on him for, like, you know, half a year or, like, you know, a couple months and see what happens? They might wait till after Mania to do that, I think. I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to wait till after WrestleMania to do that. But who knows? Maybe we'll get another triple threat at Mania, and it'll be Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns, and that could be a triple threat for Mania. But who knows? Definitely not looking forward for that championship. This championship match was kind of a mess, but it was entertaining. It was an entertaining mess. Big fucks hitting each other. It was entertaining. Kind of like it was harkening back to like the 80s wrestling, where you had giants like fighting each other. Like, that's what it kind of looked like, and I liked it. It was fine. Definitely not the greatest match I've seen, though. But up to this point, so we're about to get to the Royal Rumble. So we're about to get to the second Royal Rumble tonight. It's the next match. It's the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. Up to this point in the night, I'm enjoying it. I've enjoyed every single thing I've seen so far. I'm having a great time watching Rumble, and I'm getting nervous because I know they're going to end with the Women's Rumble, and I do not know if it's going to look good. You know, women going over the top rope and hitting the floor. It's just something about it. Like, it's tough for them to make it look good. You know, because they're very small women, and they have to hit the apron before they bounce onto the floor, so it just doesn't look quite right. But in this Rumble, they made it work. Like, I was so impressed that these women made it work. You know, they put on an entertaining Rumble. And I'll just say it right now, I enjoyed the Women's Rumble. I hope they do it every year. I hope they don't do it last. Like, I think they only put it on last because it was the first ever. So you want to put a spotlight on it. But next year, I hope we do the Women's Rumble first, and then we end it with the Men's Rumble, because Shinsuke really should have ended the show. Like, that was amazing, and he should have got the confetti and everything. There wasn't any confetti in this show either, which was weird. But he should have got the confetti, the big fireworks and everything after winning that match. That was an amazing moment. Still, the Women's Rumble was good. It was good. It was entertaining. I was afraid it was going to be a botch fest. I was afraid we were going to get a lot of mistakes, but to my surprise, there was only like a handful, and that was it. Like, we're not talking like the whole match was a mess. Like, they put on an entertaining, good match, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. But, you know, going into the match, we all knew who was going to win it. We all knew who was going to win this Rumble, and it was Asuka, because nobody, not a single female wrestler right now, can compare to Asuka. She is on fire right now. She is a monster. She beats the fuck out of everybody. I'm thinking that that's what the Mania is going to be. It's going to be Ronda Rousey versus Asuka versus Charlotte, or versus Alexa Bliss. I think Asuka's going to choose Charlotte, though. She didn't choose anybody. That's what's a straight... Well, alright, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Asuka won the Rumble. Spoilers. She won the Women's Rumble. But there was a lot of good surprise entrances in the Rumble. Molly fucking Holly came out. Like, that shocked the hell out of me, man. The last time I saw her, she was getting her head shaved. Like, I was so shocked to see Molly Holly. And my friend, right before she came out, right when the countdown was happening, he's like, Molly Holly, right here. And then her music starts playing, she comes out, and we're all like, how the fuck did you know that? And he was like, it was a wild guess, man, I had no idea. It was great. I can't believe he called it. So that was a nice surprise. Trish Stratus was in there. She was great. She looked great. Kelly was in there. It's great to see her again. I haven't seen her in years. She's obviously not a great wrestler, but she's like my childhood. Like, a lot of these girls, like Lida, Trish Stratus, Kelly, Molly Holly, like, but more so Kelly and Trish Stratus and stuff. This is like, these are the women that made me like women, you know what I'm saying? Like, that made me interested in women, you know? Like, when I was watching wrestling as a kid, in like the peak of the Attitude Era, like early 2000s, like, I shouldn't have been watching it. Like, these girls were making me feel stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, you know, my fantasies, you know, as a child, were these girls, were these fucking women. These were my fantasies as a kid. And, you know, just to see them again, it was great, like, nostalgia feeling. It was great. It was just great to see them again. Especially Lida, man. I used to love Lida. Fucking, I used to want to marry her. Like, I fucking loved her. And she did her moonsault, and I was like praying that she wasn't going to break her neck. I was like, please don't break your neck. And she almost did. She kind of just like fell backwards. She almost didn't get around enough. But she did it. She pulled it off. She got the moonsault in. It looked good. It looked decent, you know. I've seen her do it better, but, you know, whatever. But, yeah, a lot of good moments in the match. Nia Jax comes out, and she's, like, the big monster, and she dominates all the other girls, and she's, you know, she's getting some eliminations and stuff. And then they all gang up on her and eliminate her. That was a great moment. It's another, like, big show moment. Like, Nia Jax is the big show of the women's division. I think that's a great thing. You know, she's like the monster. And, you know, I enjoyed it. You know, they all were wrestling really well, and they're all pretty. So it's like a double win. You know, you got pretty girls, and they're fucking badasses that can beat the shit out of everybody. It's great. I mean, I swear to God, I was trying to look for the fuck ups. I was trying to look for the botches, and only like a couple. Only like a couple, a handful. That's it. It was a solid match. But we get to the end. Asuka is in the last four. She's in the last two. She's on the apron, and she does something pretty ingenious that, you know, it was so subtle. It was almost anticlimactic, but we all knew she was going to win anyway. So I feel like it was just, you know, just get the elimination over with, because we all know you're going to win, Asuka. You know, that's how I was feeling. And she just kicked she just kicked the legs out of the person that she was fighting on the apron, and she fell off the apron, and Asuka, you know, hung on the apron, and Asuka won. It was like really simple, really quick, and like if you blinked, you would have missed the elimination. Like that's how quick it was. So it was a little anticlimactic, but we all knew she was going to win anyway. So I was happy she won. I was just happy. You know, it's great. This is the first Rumble where Japanese wrestlers have won the Rumble. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. First male Japanese wrestler to win a Rumble, and the first female Japanese wrestler to win a female Rumble, the first ever women's Rumble. It was a night of many firsts. So Charlotte and Bliss are out there with their championships. Asuka has to choose which championship she's going to go after winning the Rumble. And then look who decides to come out. Ronda fucking Rousey. And obviously she's a big name in MMA. After her last couple losses, she's probably not like, you know, a super big name anymore. But she's still like a big icon, you know. She's like one of the first badass female MMA fighters that people started to cheer for, right? So she comes out, she's wearing Roddy Piper's jacket because her name's Ronda Rousey. So it's like Rowdy Rousey, you know, like, so she's a big fan of Roddy Piper, and she's wearing like his clothes, and they give her like the best entrance music possible. Like it's that song, I don't give a damn about my reputation. That song everybody knows. That song that's in like countless movies, and it probably cost WWE millions of dollars to get this fucking song, right? And they give it to Ronda Rousey, and it fits her perfectly. Like it's the perfect entrance music for her. It's kind of like CM Punk's Cult of Personality music. Like it fits the character perfectly. And she doesn't do much. She just comes out, she smiles, she points at the WrestleMania logo, and that's it. That's all she does. She shakes Stephanie's hand, and she's just smiling. And, I mean, the smile looked genuine. She seemed like she was so happy to be there, because everything I've seen of Ronda Rousey, she's a big wrestling fan. She has been her whole life. She watches every Mania. So, she's probably super pumped to be a part of this. And she's probably going to be training like hell for that Mania, because she is going to be a part of the women's main event at Mania. So she better be in, like, she better not fuck up, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is her big moment, her big spotlight. You can't have a lot of botches. You know, you can't have any botches. You got to make the match look good. And she hasn't wrestled, you know. She's fought in MMA, but wrestling's a completely different thing, you know. You got to make a compelling match without hurting anybody. And you got to make it feel real. It's actually quite complicated to do. So, you know, I hope she could do it. I'm rooting for her to do great things. I think she could do great things. It was a great way to end the show. First ever Women's Royal Rumble. Ends the show. Ronda Rousey's pointing at the WrestleMania logo. It's a good way to end the show. Next year, they're gonna end it with the men's rumble. This is like a one-time thing, and it was a great thing, and it worked out. But I still would have been a little bit more happy if Shinsuke got to end the show because I love Shinsuke. But it was great for what it was. I enjoyed the Rumble. I thought it was great. What did you all think of the Rumble? Did you enjoy the Rumble? Who watched it? Right? I'll be doing some other reviews during this week. Been kind of busy lately, but I'll get back on track. I'll probably be doing an Oscar nomination breakdown before the Oscars at some point. I think the Oscars are like what, next month, right? They're a ways away, I think. But I'll be breaking that shit down. I watched Blade Runner 2049 recently too, and I watched the old Blade Runner, so I watched the Blade Runners back to back. And I'm gonna put some reviews of that shit up. And that's it for now. What y'all think of the Rumble? I enjoyed the Rumble a lot. If I was to give it a star rating, this is one of the best Rumbles in the last 5 years, easily. A lot of new things, a lot of firsts. Is it the greatest one I've ever seen? No, but it's still really good. I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. The whole pay-per-view gets 4 out of 5 stars. It was a solid show, and it has me excited for WrestleMania. That's the biggest thing they accomplished with the Rumble. I'm excited for WrestleMania now. I'm going to get my WrestleMania tickets, and I'm going to make the drive to New Orleans, and maybe I'll record the whole trip and post it. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. Shinsuke versus AJ Styles. So pumped. So pumped. I think I might just make like a little music video of that, just so you can all understand what the fuck this means. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. What this fucking means, alright? Yeah, I'll see y'all next one. I hope you're having a great day. And that's it for now. Bye-bye.